Hello, everybody. Hello. Give me something. Give me some love, energy, something. Whee. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Rowland. Point it into the void, and it works, right? Does it? Yes, it does. Okay. Before I go on about this thing up here, I just want to remind us one of the things that unites us all here. We all have our differences on chain. Very few people agree, which is one of the wonderful things about Hive. But the thing that does unite us is that there's a Chinese gentleman called Justin, and he was promising to make us all very, very, very rich, if you remember. I'm going to buy the token, I'm going to pump the price. Block trades would be a multi-billionaire by now, if we'd have gone that way. And many of us also would have made a lot of money. But what did we do? We realized that this was the path of centralization, right? And we said, no. We said, we're not going to accept your money. We're going to go the Hive route, and we're going to go for freedom, right? And so now we have a decentralized chain with a decentralized base layer. We're maybe not as rich as what we would have been, but we have our principles, and we have that uniting factor. And this is more profound than we realize. This is a massive deal, because you show me another group of humans in history that refused the money and chose decentralization. It basically doesn't exist. It really doesn't. And so Hive has that founding basis. It makes Hive incredibly difficult to regulate. It makes Hive incredibly difficult to control. And it provides us all with a bunch of amazing rights on the base layer that we all have. Everyone that joins Hive has. The right to transact, the right to talk, the right to voice your opinions, the right to build community. These are all things that Hive provides that Justin Sun would have taken away from us if we would have taken his money. So this brings me on to HBD, or as they call it in Latin America, HBD. It's a very big deal, because it's a stable coin that's derived from the Hive base layer. But what is it really? Because of this founding principle of Hive that we refused the money and we chose freedom, it means we have a base layer that's neutral, and it protects everyone's rights to send this stable coin HBD that we have. It's a feeless stable coin. It provides an APR. It's instant. There's certain tools that have been built that give you cash back for spending it. You can earn it from a neutral layer without having to work for anyone. It's the first time in history where, in the blockchain world, you can get fresh crypto, fresh stablecoins from a base layer without having to work for anyone and without having to run a technical node, right? This is a big, big deal, because it means normal people can get hold of fresh crypto off a base layer. We can take photos, we can write blogs, and we can earn crypto and earn this HBD. So we can pump crypto into the economy, into normal people's hands, in a much easier way than any other chain can do. So HBD is a superpower, man. It's one of our superpowers, and we really shouldn't underestimate it. It's a massive, massive thing that we have on Hive. And it's, I mean, you can see where the world's going. Regulated stablecoins, KYC stablecoins will turn you off if we don't like your political opinions. That's where the world's going. You can see it happening right before our eyes. HBD is the answer to that. So I'm going to come into some mechanisms as to this HBD economy. The HBD economy is growing, and it's going to become a force in the future, in my opinion. So I want to show you a few tools that we can use to further develop the HBD economy. So this app, Check In With, I'm not sure, has anyone heard of this app? Can you put your hands up if you heard of it? Yeah, okay, about 30, 40%. So Check In With came as a result of us going to events, and we wanted to give them the Hive experience as quickly as possible. So a new user would come, they'd onboard through Starkerz's lovely keychain QR code scanning app, which is a great onboarded process, thank you very much. But then we'd have to give them some crypto, or they'd maybe make a blog, but then they get the rewards in 7 days, and it's like, no one comes to an event to get rewards in 7 days. So then we realized, well, if we send them the HBD, vote the blog and get a beneficiary so we get the HBD back, then we can give them the instant crypto experience. As soon as they sign up, they can make a photo, It posts on the blockchain. You can show them their blog, and oh, they got 2 HBD. And they also, using V4V app, we put it into the back end where they get $1 worth of Bitcoin as well. So now you don't even need to talk about content. You go to someone and say, hey, do you want Bitcoin? And a lot of people will say yes to that. And you say, well, sign up to Hive, take your photo, take your selfie with us, and you'll get some instant Bitcoin, some instant HBD. And then at the stands, at the events, we were selling bracelets, right, for $1. So they'd buy the bracelet, and then they'd be able to use the HBD that they just earned to buy the bracelet, and then use Distriator to get cash back on the purchase. So within about a 10-minute window, a newbie, and especially if it was a group, like Eddie Spino figured out do groups. He's like, do 5, 6, 10 people at the same time. So they were getting their HBD by taking the photo with check-in with. They were getting the cash, they were spending to buy a bracelet or some simple merch on the stand, and then they were getting cash back from Distriator. So they were experiencing the full crypto loop in that 10-minute period. So the subliminal thoughts are sign up, create content, get cash, spend the cash, get cash back. Oh, crypto's cheaper than fiat. I can live on crypto cheaper than I can live on fiat because blockchains like Hive will pay you. So this is where check-in with came from. It's basically built by Sagar. Is Sagar in the room? Sagar, great work on this. Very much appreciated. So now we can do proof of person because we've listed a bunch of people who we trust. By the way, most of you in the room can use check-in with to onboard people. And I'm getting a list off Roland of all the names that are here to make sure that everyone in the room can onboard someone using check-in with. And all you do, it's a trusted Hivean. People that turn up to HiveFest are relatively trustable. And you basically sign the person up, you take a selfie with them. They don't have to show their face. It's just a check-in moment, a recorded moment on the blockchain that says, hey, this person is a real person, and they checked in with us. It creates a blog on the blockchain and sends them 2 free HBD. And then they can spend that immediately. So you can demonstrate the whole Hive ecosystem without having to wait for the 7-day clearing window. So these are some of the people we've been onboarding. Then we can start doing lists of onboarders. So you can see Caleb Marvel in Nigeria is leading. He's onboarded something like 69 people over the last 4 months. You got Menno up there. Menno in Ecuador is absolutely kicking ass. Shout out to Menno. He's found this technology and started using it a lot, so he's onboarding people. That guy in 3rd place, I've got no idea who that is. He's a talented man, apparently. Got Jon Snow in Venezuela, who's onboarding a lot of people as well. EcoInstant's doing some great work. So we can start to see on-chain who's onboarding people in real life and who's checking them in to make sure that they have a proof of person. This means that no longer Hive Watchers is going to be able to accuse these people of being bots because people are staking their reputation on this. So we have a way of doing proof of person on-chain, give them instant crypto. We have a way of KPI measuring the results so people can see what the results are. So the results are this. In the last 5 months, we've onboarded 556 real people to the blockchain. And these types of charts are the things that we can use to make Hive go viral. Because, okay, 556 isn't that many people, but a year from now, could it be 1,500, 2,000? A year after that, could it be 5,000? You're starting to talk about sizable portions of the Hive user base at that point. The other thing that we do as well is we follow every new user with an account called Pioneer Supporter. So you can go on to xsensi.com/Pioneer Supporter/feed, and you can see all of these new users' posts. And we give them tasks so that they can complete tasks to learn about Hive, and at the same time, they can earn while they're learning. This is a way for Wales to be able to support real newbies that are really checked in with real people. Okay. So then we move on to Distriator. Distriator is a way that you can spend HBD and you can take 2 photos of the product that you bought and you can get cash back once you post those 2 photos to chain. So these are some of the spend HBD blogs that go on chain. These are people buying real things in real businesses. A couple of businesses there. And this is powerful because HBD is a massive facet of Hive. This HBD economy, you know, it's got to be part of the future. It's a big deal. So these are a few of the businesses that we have on Hive, and people all over the world have been approaching businesses and onboarding them. And every time they get onboarded, they go into our database, And this is a cumulative curve of all the businesses that have been onboarded to Hive. So we currently have just under 400 businesses all over the world that accept HBD, right? A year and a half ago, there was 0. And now we have 400 because of the network effect of this community. So that's a big, big deal. You get that to 800, 1,000, 6 months, a year from now. And that's a sizable network of businesses that accept HBD. It's very, very, very valuable for Hive. And I want to, while we're on the live stream, congratulate a lot of the users that have been working hard to onboard these businesses, because it is not easy to go and convince a business to accept HBD. People like Soren in the room here, doing great work in Luxembourg to onboard, to create a Hive economy in Europe. People like Sagar are doing great work towards that. People like Focus now in Nigeria, John Snow in Venezuela. Amazing, amazing people. And Hive is really spreading all over the world. You can go onto distriator.com and you can see the map of all these businesses all over the world that accept Hive. Very, very, very powerful stuff. The other thing that you can track with this is you can track the total spending. So far, in these 400 businesses, we've spent just shy of 100,000 HBD. So the HBD economy is growing, and you can see it's speeding up from this chart. This is all on chain. Anyone can go and verify this information. So we've gone from nothing a year and a half ago to now we've had 100,000 HBD spent in real businesses all over the world, in these 400 businesses. This is powerful stuff for Hive. And this is a parallel economy that it's completely separate to the old economy. At no point does it touch it. You mine the currency from chain, you can buy it in your local exchanges, you can swap it to HBD, you can spend it into the businesses, and you get cash back, and it never touches the old banking system. And at no point do you need to KYC. This is powerful stuff. This is a truly parallel economy developing. The other thing that happens is Distriator rewards people for onboarding the businesses. So every time someone onboards a business, they get paid. Every time someone claims in that business. So if I onboarded a business here and everyone here spent, I'd earn quite a lot of money because I did the work to onboard the business. So this is KPI tracking of all the people who are onboarding businesses all over the chain. Same thing for users. If you onboard a user through Starkerz keychain and they go spend in the businesses that you onboarded, you get paid as well. So people are incentivized to onboard people because there's an earning capacity. People are incentivized to onboard businesses. And then we can also see which businesses are earning the most money. So right here, there's a league table of which businesses are earning the most. So we can start to see and track where this spending's happening, why it's happening, if it's doing well, if it's not. The other thing that we've developed is very early phases of Distriator loans. So this is a business called Happy Customer in Nigeria. And we saw that it was making about $500 a month for the first 3 months it opened. This is a Hive business that came out of nowhere. The guy, Focus now, who runs it, he went around and spread Distriator. Anyone that's spreading Distriator and HBD, we'll vote. We'll vote you. If you're spending HBD or if you're onboarding businesses, we will do our best to vote you because we think that's incredibly valuable work for the blockchain. Focus now onboarded 80 businesses in his local town in Nigeria, and he earned about $2,500 of rewards for that. And then he was like, well, why am I onboarding other businesses? Why don't I just open my own business? Because with the cash back, you can undercut the local competition. So we did it, and his business started exploding. So we found some money and loaned him some money, and you see where the red arrow is. That's where the loan happened. And his revenue exploded from that point forwards. So it's a really wonderful success story on Hive. Hoping to do more loans to legitimate, real businesses that are showing evidence that they're growing the HBD economy. The other thing that we have here is Hive Debit. See if I got my card. This is the world's only decentralized payment system on a card. Every single other card, and some of them are great, don't get me wrong, but they all have custodial services. This is the only one that everyone in this room can create on their own phone right now without having to ask permission from me or anyone that created this system. This means that you can put your own business logos on these cards. You can create your own cards and distribute them to your own communities without asking permission from anyone. There is no custodian. Every time you tap to spend on these cards, it's peer-to-peer. There is no intermediary at all. No other card can say that in the blockchain world. The reason that we can say this is because of HBD, because of the feeless, decentralized nature of HBD and the lightning-fast payments that it has. It's incredibly powerful. So yeah, Hive has the world's only decentralized tap payment card as well. I won't spend too much time on this. There's a couple of updates coming out. Jan, the developer, Jan Tomasowski, he likes cherryokis, so everything's driven around cherryokis. But one of the things, these are the things that we can look forward to with Hive Debit. So you're going to have an iPhone app for Hive Debit, receive and send payments using airdrops and iMessages. So we already tested this. We have a link that we send, and you're basically sending a packet of HBD. So you can just drop people links and send them money at this point. But that's still in the testing phase, so it's not out yet. The other thing that we think there's a market here for is making HBD, which is a freedom dollar, the stablecoin for Bitcoin. We think Bitcoiners need this as well, and once Bitcoiners understand the principles behind Hive, the fact there's no ICO, no pre-mine, no CEO, no centralization, it follows all the facets of Bitcoin's kind of creation as well. And so this can be the stablecoin for Bitcoin. And so we're trying to work a way where you can tap and spend Lightning or tap and spend HBD, depending on what you want to do. We've put spending limits in the cards as well, so that if anyone puts too much money on the card's basically deprogrammed, which means if they get phished, they can't lose too much money to the point where the phishers, the hackers won't bother. So that's under development. We've got an offline payment system coming, so you can send HBD to each other without being online. And then, of course, various different API integrations. So it's very interesting. Playing around with HBD as a payment mechanism is a massive deal, in my opinion. OK, to finish off here, Nina Eats here. There she is. Hello. Nina and I and Bookcoins and EcoInstante and EcoInstant were in Guatemala at Bookcoins Hotel this summer, spreading Hive, growing the HBD economy there. There's about 15 businesses that accept HBD in that location at this point. There's a small HBD economy growing there. But we went in between July and mid-August for about 7 weeks, and we pushed the idea of using tap payment cards in the hotel. So every time a guest checks into the hotel, they get a tap payment card as their room card. It has a crypto account on it with HBD. And people spent. People really came in and spent. So this is us at the Hive Hub in Guatemala. And a Hive Hub really is just any business or any way that we can use HBD in a location that has a meeting room, basically, or a place where people can meet. So our Bookcoins hostel was perfect for this. So what do? We sign them up with Keychain. We check them in with check-in with. They get 2 HBD. They spend it in the bar. And then they use Distributed to get the cash back. And also Snappy.xyz, I want to give a shout out to Menno, who's building that. It's a very, very simple app to show newbies how to use Hive and earn Hive. So these are pictures of us with a POS that we put into the place. Spending HBD at the Hive Hub there. Everyone was learning how to use it. We have a POS payment system, so you can receive payments as a business. Everyone was getting cash back. There's a couple more pictures of me and EcoInstant there. Nina was very heavily involved in this as well, of course. So during that time, we onboarded, and this is beautiful, because with Check-in With, we can measure these statistics. So we onboarded 64 people during that period. And these are the businesses that are in the hotel. So you can see how much money they were earning. And I believe that the total was, does it say it here? $1,811 spent in 7 weeks. So these are statistics that we can track by putting Hive Hubs into locations, onboarding people, teaching them how to use Hive, giving them a little bit of free crypto to get them started, and then measuring the spending that they're doing and measuring the onboarding and the activity that they do. So we onboarded 64 users. We ran 7 workshops. The average spend per user was 28 HBD. And the average cost per onboard was 35 HBD after you took into account the cost that we spent. This is worldmapping.com. And you can see, if you search spend HBD tag on worldmapping.com, you can see all the spending hotspots around the world. You see Nigeria's a massive spending hotspot, but we've got places in Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, Philippines, a couple of places in Europe there by Soren, who's in the room. These are more workshops being run at various different Hive hubs. So these Hive hubs are starting to form. They're not forming from permission of us. They're forming because they're creating economies in the local areas. And so far, we've identified 18 hubs. We've got Luxembourg, of course, Królestwo in Poland. We've got 4 locations in Nigeria that are doing very, very well. Guatemala, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, and Philippines seem to be the spending hotspots for HBD. And these are places where we can onboard new users, show them how to use Hive, show them how to earn Hive, and then swap it and spend it and get cash back. The last thing I just want to mention here is that we've finally finished our book. Woo! Thank you very much. So this is me, Starkerz, and they call me Dan. I've written a book about how Hive works and how it is the foundation of a digital community. The book's called The Digital Community Manifesto. It's on the Hive blockchain under @networkstate, and you can go and read, in my opinion, about how Hive works, how it can be attacked, how it can be defended, why it's decentralized, why it works, why we have no fees. There's various different facets there, and I think anyone that reads that book will come away with a very good foundational knowledge on what Hive is, and probably even be able to debate some of these shitcoiners and Bitcoin maxes as to why Hive is one of the answers going forwards. So that's all I got. I think the future with Hive hubs and HBD is going to be very, very powerful. Thanks, Nina, Sagar, Soren in the room, and all the other rest of you at home who are working on the HBD economy. It's really growing, and it's very, very powerful. So thank you.